Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen with an organisation spotlight for Vanguard. Org Spotlight aims to find the right players for an org and the right org for a player. They are a medium-sized lawful org, largely focused on exploration and security, but a little bit of everything else too. They are active on Star Citizen Daily around all time zones, suitable for new and veteran players alike. They have active teaching and training sessions, organise various in-game events, sometimes on the spot. There is a semi-rigid grouping structure for the org as well, where roles fit within, so they refer to that as wings, with MedTech, Frontier, Security, Initiative, Premier, and Industry wings. If you are looking for a friendly lawful org that actively plays with other orgs, arranges PvP and PvE gameplay in the game now, and you like the way they've structured themselves, then Vanguard might be the right org for you. I talked to two of the org's members in a bit more detail in this video. Apologies for the creaky chair that you might have to hear in the background as well. I've realised that one of the members I was interviewing had a creaky chair. The monster. So, who are you, and what's your role in the organisation?
Mason Stonewall. I am wing commander, and the wing I'm in charge of is Initiative, which is basically our exploration wing, which handles items like discovery and scanning, the science whenever that comes in, and data whenever that comes in.
And I'm Space Harvest, and I'm the wing commander of Premier. And we do recruitment, and we look after organizations, events, and pretty much the day-to-day running in the background.
Can you give me a brief rundown of what Vanguard do, sort of like its purposes and goals in the verse?
Yeah, Vanguard, at the creation, I am one of the first 10 members of the organization. And Vanguard's direction is a focus on exploration with a secondary focus on freelancing. So our immediate goal of Vanguard is to go out to the extreme frontiers of the verse once it opens up, and kind of explore, find out what's out there, but also to bring a little bit of law to places the UEE has left untamed, or at least something along those lines, where we want to have an organization that could be self-sufficient, be out there. And so all of our wings encompass all of the planned or in place jobs and roles that Star Citizen is to offer.
And is that a mostly lawful based, or is that also going into outlaw territory?
It is mostly lawful based. We do not intend on doing any pirating against other players, as far as those that are, being lawful, just, doing commerce or mining or whatnot. But we will defend ourselves. And if there are organizations that are a pirate organization or something like that that are causing issues within the realm that we're, quote, protecting, or at least I should say occupying or active in, then we will step out and do some player versus player in that scenario. But we're more focused on PvE type orientation.
So more focused on PvE, but PvP isn't out of the question, but it's more typically defensive. You talk about exploration, but you do a bit of everything in the game. What sort of stuff do you do at the moment? What's currently your org involved in from a day-to-day, week-to-week sort of like activity in the current version of Star Citizen?
In the current version of Star Citizen, we have individuals at almost any time of the day, every day of the week. And most of that is an organic organization of the individuals that are on at that time or coming on. And, as the group grows, things will develop. We have done things like Lockdown Jump Town, and provide a safe haven for individuals to come down and conduct their business without being destroyed by griefers or those that seek to destroy them. And it gives an opportunity for those that do want to partake in player versus player to come try to dislodge us, and allows those in our organization that are more combat oriented to defend that area. And at the same time, it allows those who like commerce to come down and conduct that as well. We do also have convoy missions where we'll all band together and plan a route in order for everybody to make money. We've also done exploration focused, which I've just started getting together with those that are involved in my wing. For example, to take a bunch of ground vehicles and drop on a planet away from an outpost, get in vehicles and do a 15-kilometer hike through the rough terrain of a moon to try to get to that outpost safely without flipping all our vehicles over.
One of the things that your org seems to focus on there is training and teaching. So is that pretty much the same sort of stuff that you were just talking about, or is there more of a training regime and teaching regime that you guys go through?
Yeah, there's not really a hard and fast training regime as yet. It's more hand-holding. So when players come to us initially, or we meet people, normally they have a bit of an issue, and we try and help them out, show them what buttons to press, help them get around, show them good places to make some money, get them to experience some of the ships that we have in the org and to play with us in multiplayer ships, and basically just show them how great the game is at the moment and how big we can actually go when we have lots of players. So on occasion, we could have 20 odd players on a single server at any one time, and of course there's going to be a lot less at different times of the day, but we just seem to introduce these people, give them roles to play, and they tend to really enjoy themselves, and then eventually if they're a good fit with the org, then we'll ask them to come along and join us.
Yep.
Other than being mostly law-abiding as well, are there any other restrictions on players that you're after? Is it both entirely new players as well as veterans?
Yeah, well, we're actually after all players, all walks of life. We've got a lot of players who are ex-military, and quite a lot of still current military as well, and they've got great organizational skills. And we have, people who work in cafes, things like that as well, and they've got great people skills, and they've got great ideas on how to manage the moment and to deal with groups in the spur of the moment. So we have, the organizational skills from the fleet side, as well as having the ability to micromanage in the moment under great stress and just try and leverage those skills. So the individuals can come from all walks of life because everyone has a skill to share.
Yes.
And is the org roleplay focused at all?
Roleplay came into a little bit. We are not a focused role-playing group per se, but we do like to have the roles in which an individual take place if they are providing overwatch and security, or if they're in commerce, to stay off the line when combat is occurring, for example. So it's not role-playing in the traditional Dungeons and Dragons type role-playing sense, but we do have that, and we do have a history that we put in place about how Vanguard got started and what it represents and how the wings kind of got formed and that type of individual item.
So you do have a already established lore for the org?
Yeah, yes, it's still developing, but we do have a pretty solid development of the org where the two founders of the group had discovered each other waiting after one had got out of the UEE Marines and one was out of the Navy. They had common background, came from the same planet, which I admit we haven't determined because we don't necessarily have all the information on what we want, but they decided they wanted to form an organization, and that's how Vanguard came about. And the name was to go out to the frontier because in their experience at UEE, left some of those frontier planets out there, with a little less protection than they should have. So they wanted to go out on their own and kind of ply the unknown, at the same time bring a little order.
And what sort of size is your org currently, and do you have a maximum size in mind that you're trying to get to?
All right. Now, we do not have a maximum size currently at the moment that we have in mind. We have 162 members right now. 84 of those list Vanguard as their main organization.
And so your org is also suitable for people that are just affiliates then?
Yes, we are not exclusive.
Any further sort of plans that you've already got for gameplay that you're planning to do over the next year with the current patch of Star Citizen? How do you see your gameplay changing, is what I'm saying, as an org over the next year?
We're really looking for when we can share funds between doing cargo missions in big fleets, to reward people a little bit more for when we're doing that. So hopefully, I don't know what's going to be down the pipeline for that, but I'm hoping there's going to be a mechanism for rewarding, like crew manifests or something like that. That would be really good for being able to share things out. With the new features that come along, we're hoping to be doing a lot more in the role playing, definitely getting into medical when that comes out. We're really looking forward to that. We're trying to leverage, we've got an individual feedmaster within our org who is desperately wanting to do more races and get more people involved in that as well. So we're wanting to leverage the racing piece as well. And we also are looking forward to the mining, especially things like the Orion coming into gameplay. So we can have a massive amount of role play scenarios against that, defending mining ships, making some money from mining, and then going and selling that and sharing it amongst all of our guys.
And the reclaimer and salvage, same scenario when that comes.
And the vulture also, yeah, absolutely. But all these gameplay mechanics, we do have regular discussions about all the mechanics that CIG say that they're going to do, and then we try and we just brainstorm and think, well, how's that going to affect the org, and how we're going to use those. So we've had big discussions about how we want to use all the capital ships, the Banu Merchantmen, which we've got quite a lot, and when the hulls come into play, how we can use those in fleet maneuvers with the prospectors, because they're the only ships that can pick up their cargo. So yeah, there's a whole pile of stuff we want to do in there as well. But at the moment, we currently advertise our convoys 5 minutes before we get there to try and encourage a little bit of PvP. So, we'll say, hey, do you know what? Vanguard's moving into this particular area. We're just going to close down this particular little mining facility or something. We're going to pick up cargo. We'll be out your hair in 10 minutes, and we'll just announce that to the whole server. And we'll normally get 2 or 3 people to come in and engage with our security wing. So we all have a bit of fun at the same time as doing some cargo. And we experience the loss as well of losing cargo and monies as well at that time. So it makes the whole game really interesting to play even today.
And you've talked about how the org's pretty active throughout the day, but how often are you guys running, if you do, specific events? If I was only able to play every so often, is it better for me to just jump into the Discord and chat to people and play, or are there these sort of prearranged events that I should turn up for because there's going to be everyone there?
A bit of both.
Yeah. Yep.
You jump on Discord, say hello, see what's going down, which is good. We have Mining Monday. I don't know how that came about, but someone jumped on the Discord the other day and said, how's Mining Monday going? And I was like, oh my God, it's Mining Monday. I forgot about Mining Monday. And we had to go and, quickly get out all the prospectors and sort of have a few people along. But we have a calendar and we have events on those that you can subscribe to, and they're ran by everyone in the org. Anyone comes up with an idea, they want to do it, we can put that on the calendar. All the senior members have got access to the calendar. We can put those on. We can gauge interest, see how they go, see if they're going to become a regular thing. And and if the numbers die off, then we can have a look historically, and we can sort of say, well, that was good for a little bit, but not so good now. So we're going to move on. And we're going to think of some more events to do. So absolutely good.
And it will.
Yeah, sorry, I was just going to say, we're going to have repair days and things like that when repair mechanics come in.
Exactly. That's what all I was going to add is, as more mechanics come into the game, we will have more regular events, because we know that there's individuals out there that are getting into the game or have been in the game for a long while that are interested in certain mechanics of the game, and many of those are not in. And we developed Vanguard and the structure of it with a long-term goal. I mean, we have an initiative wing focused on discovery where, except for the basic scanning we have now, there's no mechanics applying to it. We have a med tech. Well, there's no repair, there's no medical. There's not a lot of the mechanics in there, but we're building Vanguard for when the game's released. But we play right now with what the game offers. And to feed off of what he was saying, Space, our group, we're looking for individuals to come in, and we have everything from capital ships down to starter ships in our organization. And if you're an individual that has got the starter pack, and I know Board, you'd reiterate the same thing, that's all you need to play is the starter pack. Everything else is an additional pledge to support the development of Star Citizen and is not necessary. So if you want to join an organization where you can have access to all the ships, every one of our members, we will lend out any ship and pull up any ship that they want to fly, just to fly it and see what it's like. Maybe somebody does want to pledge, but they want to try it out. We give them the opportunity because we have a large enough org and many individuals that have very large fleets that they can go out and fly it around, try it out for an evening or multiple days, whatever they want. And it's a great opportunity for somebody that's just getting into the game to have an organization that's friendly, that's supportive, that's cooperative, and will allow them to experience a whole slew of things, from a hammerhead to a reclaimer to any of the large ships we have, or maybe they just want to fly a freelancer or the Reliant Core. That's also an opportunity that they can have within our org.
Okay, I was going to ask about capital ships and how communal they are, but you've answered that now. So can you tell me more about your wings and ranks system?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. The organization structure is that we have 6 wings, and if I can give you some history as far as the founder, whatever planet, there's like a Vorhawk, and this is a bird of prey that has golden and deep purple plumage, and that's kind of where we got our colors from for the organization and the seal that we have. And so because of their symbolic avium emblem, they named each of their branches wings. And so each of those wings is set aside to represent certain aspects of gameplay. The first wing we have is Frontier, and Frontier is the wing that focuses on transport, commerce, and homestead. Transport's the ones moving things like cargoes, vehicles, and stuff in ships. Commerce, they're the ones that are actually watching the trade deals, best places to go, setting up trade routes, that type of stuff, as well as in the future, I assume we'll be able to set up, like trade deals and stuff like that with, say, other organizations or NPC AI type organizations. And a homestead is our outpost location building and running type group. Again, we're talking about mechanics that are not in the game yet, but we are an organization that's building for the future. The next group is industry, and they're really the moneymaker, or one of the moneymakers. They handle like excavation type mining, salvage, and fuel, and that's industry. So if you're interested in the fueling mechanics, the salvage, the mining, that would be a wing that you can come in and join. And I do want to set aside here, as far as the wing, we do have a primary assignment. When people come in, they get a feel for it. We ask them to choose a wing to join. But BoredGamer, they need to know that they're not locked into that mechanic. It's just a primary place to focus on for themselves and to kind of have an idea of where your organization will be. But you're not locked into that. If you want to fly a fighter ship, go do that. If you want to hop on do some medical on a Cutlass Red or whatnot, they can do that too. So I want to make sure that's clear, that you're not locked into the wings of our organization.
That's good to hear, because you don't want to be like in a Harry Potter school where you're locked into Hufflepuff and you can never leave.
And that's why I wanted to make that point, because I know Space has made it, and I've made it. Almost all our leadership, when we're trying to get people to choose, you can get this waffling because it's like, I don't want to get locked in. And if I join medical, the medical group in the medtech wing, what do I do until that comes out? So, um, yeah, they join us on any org event that they want, and if they want to fly a fighter that day, that's fine. This is just kind of to start an organizational thing. It's more for fun. It will get more serious as far as serious in a game can go, as we get closer. Initiative wing, it's focused on initiative, taking out and going out. So we have a discovery group. That's planetary surface exploring, space exploring, scanning, all that type of stuff. Science is going to be one of those interesting aspects, but that's also in it. I have a feeling that won't come out till much later. And then data, that's information running and all those exciting things. MedTech is medical, technical, engineering. Engineering's more focused on ship technology, like being an engineer on a ship. Technical is almost anything outside of a ship, but I know that being a sci-fi game, we're going to have a lot of technical aspects that anybody who wants to specialize in learning how those work, that's what that would be for. Medical, well, I think we all know what medical is, keeping people alive. So the other wing, fourth wing I'll go through, is the premier wing. That's, as Space already pointed out, public relations, marketing, recruitment, and also handling competitions and tours. When we finally get VIP tours, we do have 3 or 4 890 jumps in our group. So we will be handling some VIP issues with them. So if somebody wants to join and work on the most luxurious yacht in the game, then happy to do that as well. Security wing, which is critical for protecting almost any of the other wings from anything, consists of Star Force for anybody who wants to fly a saber, man a turret on a hammerhead, or shoot torpedoes from a retaliator. That's the group to join. We have Vanguard Marines for those that like PvP, that want to do ground protection and ground assault. And then SOAR, SOAR, that's our special ops and reconnaissance. That's kind of our kind of from U.S. Navy SEAL Special Forces type group. And then the last wing is Fleet Command, and that's just the overall wing for overall command of the group. So that's the basis of our wing structure. We do have our top rank is Fleet Marshal. That's our founders, and as we grow, we'll probably need more Fleet Marshals to control as we get larger. Wing commanders, we have those in charge of each wing. And then we have group captains. Those are the ones in charge of each of the individual groups, as well as backing up and assisting wing commanders or the fleet marshal. And those ranks can only be attained by members that have us as a main org. And then we have ranks like Vanguard and Vanguard Chief and Vanguard Master Chief. Those are our enlisted ranks that, as individuals stay with our group and improve themselves and show that they're supportive of our cooperative play and that they understand our guidelines and how we want Vanguard to form, then you get promoted up the rank.
So something I did want to quiz you about very slightly was I was reading your organization page, and one of the things that it refers to a couple of times is you're after non-toxic players. And I see often the term toxic branded around a lot in gaming. So for the avoidance of doubt, what does having non-toxic members mean to you? What's your definition of that?
I'll let you handle that question.
Yeah. A toxic player is kind of, it's kind of twofold. You've got natural aggressiveness, whereby it's either my way or the highway. So you get people very vocal, they're very shouty, you've got to do this, you've got to do that. That's very toxic. It's very demeaning to people, and putting people down is very toxic. We don't tolerate that. That will be that will be dealt with very swiftly. Also, you get the other side of the toxic player as well, which is, the players who play on pity. When they I'm trying to think of the best way of describing this. They're playing and something's not going their way. So, they start to throw in the towel. And instead of playing to their maximum potential, which they can do, they can come out and they can, be really great and playing with the team, and they can identify and work with people. But they take the other tack, which is basically, oh, you guys didn't help me, you didn't care, and they're very disheartened, and they're speaking in a very negative way. And that's very toxic. It's contagious to other players as well. So we are definitely looking for people who can be upbeat even when things are going horribly wrong. As I was saying before, when we're doing the trade runs, you experience loss in this game as it goes forward, and you know yourself, Board, as we're going forward, life is going to be a big thing. So the captain of a ship is going to be punished if he loses crew on a ship, and that's going to be in the game mechanics from what I believe. We want people to be able to deal with that, to sort of like appreciate that if we're doing PvP combat, there's a time to pull out, and whoever made that decision, whatever leader made that decision, or even if someone just made that decision because it was best for their ship, to not take the negative standpoint, but to recognize that that was a very positive move and was in line with keeping with our conduct, our code of conduct, which is basically life is sacred. So we need to make sure that all the players have a good experience as well. But ultimately, we're not just going to be having people fighting till the bitter end, if you like. And we will play in that scenario very well because we want to get that medical gameplay in there also. But yeah, so toxic players are really just people who negatively impact either through aggression or through passive aggression, is kind of what I'm trying to say.
Okay, well that's good to know, because hopefully that will allow people to more readily join your org, knowing what they can and can't do. I for one, when I'm playing Overwatch, I would be seen as a toxic player, as I get very, very whiny, and my constant losses. But that's just me.
But there's another side to that, Board, because if you're getting constantly whiny, there's a reason for that, and that might be because nobody's listening to you, and that's something that would be addressed by the leadership. Because if you were getting whiny, the leaders who were there would sort of recognize that, and so like say, okay, and we try and address what was making you whine. So maybe that position is not your
good
best
leaders,
position.
I must interject.
Okay, well that's good. That's good.
Notice.
That's good to know that the higher ups will pay attention, and it's not just like you're a toxic player because you're whining. It's like, okay, well, let's see if we can address this. Let's see if there's a reason behind it. But if it's a more constant downbeatness, then maybe not appropriate. Okay, that's cool. Is there anything else that you would like to add?
I would like just to mention, Vanguard, we were created, they're individuals that kind of came to our organization early on and whatnot. Many of us were in previous orgs that were either inactive or they were doing things that we didn't approve of or didn't like. And so we created this org, especially for those that are new to the game, that come in and Board. It's been a while for you and myself, but when you come into this game, it can be overwhelming, and trying to learn just how to operate your ship or even get out of the airlock can be difficult. And
yeah, it can.
And especially when it goes to a new patch and things change, or say the lights don't work when you walk into the airlock and you don't know how to turn on your torch. So items like that can be trying. And Vanguard is here, that if an individual has just bought the package, just trying to get into the game, and maybe they're watching your YouTube video or somebody else's, and they're like, I'm totally lost. Vanguard is an organization. Again, Vanguard, our motto is, we're always in the lead, and that's what we want to do. We want to be in the front to help those individuals and take the lead for them, to guide them, not to boss them around or tell them what to do. So if you're looking for an organization in which you can join, be welcomed, and be nurtured in a way to learn how the game works, as well as having access to a lot of tools and a lot of mechanics, maybe that you cannot or will not be able to afford, then feel free to join Vanguard, because our individuals are always here to help. We help each other. We even help individuals that aren't in our org, because that's the nature of the individuals we're looking for. Those that want to increase the enjoyment of those other individuals that are playing Star Citizen. Griefing and items of that ilk is not something that is acceptable with our organization. We are an organization that wants to be recognized, organization that will help both those within and without the organization, as long as they're not doing things contrary to what Vanguard stands for.
Additionally, last but not least, if there's any other organizations out there that would like to arrange some events with us, maybe do some PvP, maybe do some taking over a reclaimer or something, a bit of marine work, things like that, some organized events with a couple of orgs, that would also be very welcome.
Every month we have a giveaway for a Star Citizen ship. For January, we have a standalone Anvil Carrack, the mighty explorer vessel. All you need to do to be in for a chance of winning is be subscribed to my YouTube channel and then comment on any of my videos released during the month. You can find more details in the comments below. If you don't have a gaming PC yet, or you are upgrading, instead consider Shadow Cloud Gaming. They allow you to leverage the powers of the internet to stream a high-spec Windows 10 environment to any other PC, Mac, or device like a smartphone or tablet. It is working really well in Star Citizen's 3.4 branch, and be sure to use the code BoredGamer if you do decide to check it out to get a discount. Links below. For those of you wanting to support the channel further, there is Patreon, and I will be looking for an alternative platform as well for people that have requested that. But in addition, or as an alternative to that at the moment, there's the YouTube channel memberships, literally the join button below this video, or direct donations via the links below as well. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, as it really does help me. Any feedback or opinions is greatly appreciated and helps guide the channel working out what content is a good idea to put out next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the verse.